Yeah, so good evening everyone. So I'm Dr. Om J. Lakhani, and even if you're not attended any of the artificial intelligence lectures earlier, it's perfectly fine because we are going to start uh, right from the basics of AI, of generative AI, going on to making a complete PowerPoint presentation using AI, right? So that is what is today's goal. So we'll introduce the basics also, and we'll go to the advanced version also, right? So that is how to make the presentation. So in an hour, in fact, we'll make the entire presentation also live in front of you, so that you get an idea of how you can do this. Okay, so that's the whole idea of today. I mean, this topic is so important. I think you had so many requests. We had a lot of workshops on AI, and a lot of requests basically comes on this. PowerPoint banana sikhao, right? So that's something which has been an idea which is brewing in my mind for a long time. So that's what we're going to do today, right? So I'm really excited with this. So let's jump right into this. Okay. So again, for those of you who are more interested in AI, we are starting a new YouTube channel called Technocrinology, right? So this is the link to that. The link is also given below. So you can subscribe to this channel. There will be a lot of videos, content we'll be putting for continuous learning, right? So for those of you who want to learn continuously, learn more and more about AI, we'll be putting all the technology tools there. In future, we also develop some certain technology tools like called Pyrexio and all that. So all these things we'll be putting up on this YouTube channel as well. So right now, the access to these tools are generally we're limited because its speed is very slow. But in future, for more advanced workshops also, if possible, we'll give you some access to this also wherever possible. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So this is the Technocrinology YouTube channel. You can subscribe to this, and we'll keep adding some interesting content on this website. Okay, so again, those who want to follow the in this presentation, we are going to put some content which you can probably see and feel and other things, right? So if you're using a Apple device, then we have something called Freeform app, right? So most of the Apple device now have this app inbuilt. So you can follow this. There's a link here. You can follow this whiteboard which is there, right? So all the certain files and all that we put on the whiteboard, so you can follow that live. Right. For those who are not using an Apple device, it's fine. You'll be still able to see everything on the screen also. So that's completely okay. But those who are having an Apple device, you can follow this live on the Freeform application as well. So you put some prompts and some outputs and get a feel of it. Okay. So remember, like I said, no prior understanding of AI required for today's session. So we'll be starting everything from scratch and then building upon the understanding of this. Right. So what's our aim today? First is, of course, to understand the basics and basic philosophy of what is generative AI. We'll outline the steps in making a presentation using artificial intelligence. We'll understand the various generative AI tools available to us and the role of each of them in achieving the task that we are going to achieve. We'll do the step-by-step process of making a presentation using artificial intelligence, the content aspect of it. And then we'll spruce up the presentation with the design, right? So we'll make the presentation more interesting. I'll show you some interesting other tools which you can use there. And then basically I'll talk to you about some newer tools available and basically my philosophy on the future of how presentations are going to be in future. So let's first understand what is generative AI. So generative AI starts with a prompt. Okay, so prompt is basically the instructions that you're giving to the artificial intelligence for doing a certain task. That's a prompt. Now, the magic really lies in the prompt, right? So if you write a better prompt, if you write a very good prompt, you'll actually literally get some magical output out of it. But if you do not write a good prompt, unfortunately, you might not get very good output, right? So that's something which is very important for you to understand. So today, I'm going to also show you how to write a very good prompt also with examples, right? So how when you write a good prompt, you'll get a good idea. This prompt goes into an interface, right? So interface could be something like ChatGPT, or it could be Perplexity, or it could be Claude or anything. This is the interface. Behind the interface, there is a large language model. For example, if you're using ChatGPT, you'll probably be using the language model called GPT-4o. If you're using Claude, then you'll be perhaps using a large language model called Claude Sonnet 3.5. So there is some model behind it which is using it. For example, a lot of you would have started using this AI tool in your WhatsApp, which is powered by Meta. So there is a large language model called Llama which is behind that, right? And ultimately you get the output. So this is how any generative AI system works. Whatever system that we have, all the systems work in the same way. Now, let's begin our task of making a presentation using artificial intelligence. So how do you do that? First is to get the title and outline for the presentation. Then you'll do the relevant research for the presentation. Then you'll convert the research into individual slides. Then you'll make the PowerPoint PPT file using ChatGPT, right? And then finally you will spruce up with design and animation and other things. So that's how you typically do a presentation, right? Now there are different ways, let me say here, there are different ways of cutting the cake. So what I'm going to show is how I do it, right? Or how, you can always do it in a different way. There are tools available, I'll show you in the end, where you can directly write some prompt and you get the entire presentation. That is also possible. But I think the best way is to have a human in the loop model. Human in the loop model means that there is some input you are giving at every stage so that the overall presentation is very good. And you can actually do the entire thing once you start using this AI. You will be able to do this in very short period of time, right? In 20-30 minutes, you will have a very nice presentation ready, available to you straight out the bat, right? So it doesn't take too much time. So again, I think the best way is to do it in a systematic manner. If you do it in a systematic manner, actually you save more time, right? Because a lot of times, if you just leave it to AI, it will, generate some output which may not be very good. So that means you'll have to again rework and make the presentation again. So it's always better to do it step by step so that at every step you can make some changes and then you can do relevant work. So it's always good to use AI as an assistant rather than AI as a master to do everything for you. So let's understand some basic tools that are available and that what each of these tools does for overall the work. So when you want to get the title and outline for the presentation, right? So we saw that what are the tasks we are going to do. So getting the title and outline of the presentation, mainly most of the places will be using ChatGPT. Now again, it is always better. You can use the free version of ChatGPT also, but there is a ChatGPT paid version. So it's always better to use a paid version. I'll tell you why, because if you use a paid version, you'll actually get better outputs, right? You'll get a more reliable output. If you're using a free version, you might get output which may not be completely that good, right? So it's not very costly. Again, we are not paid by ChatGPT to really promote ChatGPT, but the point is if it's something which you'd like to do, it's something it will be useful to you, right? So you can try that out, right? So ChatGPT is something you can use. Okay. If we'll do some research for the presentation, and the research for the presentation we'll use a tool called Perplexity. Again, Perplexity is a freemium model, so you have some free, and then after certain usage you'll have to give some pay for it, right? So that's the whole idea. Again, these are the things you can in fact do the first part also using Perplexity, but I'm just going to show you so that you get an idea of different tools also, right? Then we'll convert the research to individual slides again using ChatGPT. Then we'll make the PPT file using ChatGPT. Then we'll generate images again using ChatGPT, and finally we'll make some infographics using Claude Sonnet, right? Again, optional, right? All these things, wherever you need something, you can either use it or it could be optional also, right? So, but this is just to give you an idea of how I would do it, right? You can perhaps do it in a different way depending on how you want to do it. So first of all, you'll say that, oh, ChatGPT kya hai? You talk so much about ChatGPT. What is it? So ChatGPT is basically a AI tool developed by a company called OpenAI. It currently uses one of the most effective LLM model currently at backend called GPT-4o, right? So that is basically what is ChatGPT. Now, there used to be some older large language model, GPT 3.5, GPT-4, but now currently the best model is GPT-4o, right? So you don't have to understand this if you don't want to understand it, but the idea is that this is a large language model which is behind which is the engine of the car. So then ChatGPT has a paid subscription called ChatGPT Plus. So it's a paid version of ChatGPT which gives access to the largest, the latest model. The usage is also less limited and more unlimited and faster, and the context window. So the input you can put and the output you get are larger in the paid version also. So you'll be able to work effectively with the paid version better. So if you're not using a paid version, it's a good idea that you try it out for a few months. Maybe it works for you. It's great. Doesn't work, it's fine, right? But it's always a good idea to get a paid version to get better output of it, right? Okay, so how to access ChatGPT? Very simple to access. You can access it to the website directly. You don't need any other specific app to download also. Directly on your browser, you can click on chat.openai.com and the ChatGPT will open. Mac OS has a desktop application which is very good. I think it's a very nice, well-made application, very fast. And since that application has come, I have stopped using the website. I directly use in the application itself. And then you have a mobile application also, which is also very good, right? So mobile app, also available to you, so you can try that out, right? So this is the how a desktop application, Mac OS desktop application looks like. Again, if it's not necessary that you download the app, but if you have, you can use it, right? So that's something useful. And this is the mobile application. Now be careful, there are a lot of mobile applications which look like ChatGPT. So you have to, on the left you can see that it should say official app by OpenAI, right? This is the logo and this is the official app. So there are a lot of apps which look very similar. So don't download the wrong app, right? Try to download the official app, and the official app is the one where you can say it says official app by OpenAI, right? So that's the one you have to use. Then there are some other tools, like I told you. Perplexity, right, is a very useful tool. In fact, one of my favorite tools right now is Perplexity. So what is Perplexity? Perplexity is basically an AI-based search engine, right? So it's like, for example, if ChatGPT married Google and they had a child, this child would be Perplexity, right? So it's ChatGPT combined with Google, right? So power of Google search along with ChatGPT's AI, right? So that's the whole idea. So it's a very useful tool. And Perplexity is available on perplexity.ai, right? Again, you can simple Google search for it, or you can find it, it's easily available. It's also free, so you can initially use it for free, and then there are paid version also, so that's something which can be useful to you, right? Then there are some other AI tools available. Anthropic is a company which was initially a lot of the employees of OpenAI and Anthropic were common, but then Anthropic became a separate company. So they have a model called Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This is the best model, right? In fact, of all the models available right now, this is the most nuanced, probably the perfect model, right? It's the best model right now, right? Again, it's a little pricey, it is more expensive compared to other models, but it's the best model. Google has a model called Gemini, right? Microsoft has a tool called Copilot. So some of you are using Windows machines, right, or using Microsoft Office, Copilot is available to you, right? So Microsoft Copilot again is a freemium. There is certain free things, and then there are paid version of Copilot also. But basically Microsoft Copilot is, remember, OpenAI is owned by Microsoft. So basically Microsoft Copilot is basically same as ChatGPT only. So if you are having ChatGPT, you don't need to buy Copilot or vice versa. And then Meta AI, the Facebook people, right? Mark Zuckerberg, they have integrated their own AI system into WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and all that. So that's the AI tool called Meta AI, right? So these are all various AI tools available. Now a lot of times, I see doctors use Meta AI and try to say, oh, AI to theek se kaam nahi kar raha hai, but don't use Meta AI, please. Meta AI is a very gimmicky tool. It's not for serious use. It's only mainly for time pass, right? If you want serious tools, use ChatGPT or use Claude Sonnet. These are the two best tools available, right? Or Perplexity. These are the three best tools available, right? So other ones are basically for not that great. Okay. Now, with this, we did the introduction to the ChatGPT and the use of tools. Again, if you have any questions, you can ask them, and we'll try to answer the questions. So please feel free to use the there is an option for you to ask questions directly to me. So you'll be able to we'll be able to take these questions also later on. So if you have any question, put it in the chat box, and we'll be able to answer them. Okay. So let's then talk about step-by-step process for making a presentation using artificial intelligence, right? So first, remember, this is one basic philosophy which I often have, right? Always separate the content from design, okay? So a lot of the time we mix these two things. So while we are making the content also, we are making the design also. No, content should be separate from design. First, you should get the good content. Once you have a good content, then you can, upon it, you can make a good design. Okay, so always start with the content, and then you can then spruce it up with a good design. Okay, so first we'll build using AI, we'll build a good content, and that content will then go into design. Okay, so let's say what topic kind of I'll do. So in fact, I'm doing my job. I have to give a talk after a few months to family physicians about male sexual dysfunction. This is the topic for me, right? So the basic idea in my mind is that chalo, male sexual dysfunction ke bare mein I have to give some talk, right? And the target for me are basically family physicians and primary care physicians, and I am an endocrinologist, so I have to, so this is the whole sort of premise, right? So I have to give a talk to family physicians or primary care physicians about male sexual dysfunction, and I am an endocrinologist. So that is something, for example, you could be a cardiologist and you have to give a talk on, for example, heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, and your target audience could be physicians, right? So that way, so depending, so you have to first formulate that, topic kya hai, target kya hai, right? Or aap kya hai, right? So these are the things you have to understand. Then let's now start with the title. Okay, so you want to give a very nice title to the talk. So you write a prompt. Okay, so this is, I told you, basically whenever you want to give a talk, right, whenever you want to ask the AI to do something, you have to write a prompt, right? Prompt is a set of instructions that you give. Now, just like, you give instructions, let's say you give instructions to your assistant, or you give instructions to your children, or you give instructions to anybody, you have to be very, very clear about what kind of instructions you're giving, right? The more clear instructions you give, right, more clarity of thought you have, the better the other person is able to do the job, right? So same way, you give very clear set of instructions to the AI, and if you are able to give a very clear set of instructions, you are able to do a good job. So for example, this is the instructions which I wrote as a prompt, right? So I am an endocrinologist. So first you have to tell who you are, right? Because otherwise how will AI know? Okay, so it's very important that you give your context. Then you say, I have to give a talk on male sexual, sorry for the spelling mistake, male sexual dysfunction. My target audience are family physicians or primary care physicians, and please suggest 3 titles for the talk and make them interesting. Okay, so this is the whole prompt which I wrote, right? So I have to give a talk on male sexual dysfunction. Who is my target? Family physician. What do I want the AI to do? Suggest titles. And what kind of title I want? I want an interesting title, right? So that's the whole idea. So let's put this in the chat GPT. So you can see here, this is what chat GPT looks like. So I just copied this prompt and put it in chat GPT, right? And let's see how it generates the video, okay? Okay, so here you can see, right? I wrote this prompt, right? So here it is saying memory updated, right? So if you are using a paid version, it kind of updates the memory. So it now remembers that I am an endocrinologist. So I don't have to tell it every time, but then again, it's always better to tell it, right? So I put this and it gave me 3 titles here, right? So the silent struggle addressing male sexual dysfunction. Remember, see, another interesting thing is, in fact, I kept this here. I made a mistake in the spelling. Instead of male sexual dysfunction, I said make sexual dysfunction. But it understood, what I'm trying to say, right? Beyond the bedroom, practical approach. So, okay, let's see the, yeah. So this is the output which it gives. Silent struggle, endocrinologist perspective of male sexual dysfunction. Beyond bedroom and endocrine insights into male sexual dysfunction. Unlocking the secrets of male sexual dysfunction, and endocrinologist guide for primary care practitioners. So these are the 3 titles which it suggested, right? So again, I stuck to one of the title. Let's go with the 3rd title, okay? So let's go to the 3rd title. Let's select the 3rd title. Okay. So this is the title we selected. Unlocking the secrets of male sexual dysfunction and endocrinologist guide for primary care practitioners. Okay. So this is the title that we selected. Okay. Now, so title is done. Okay. So let's then go to outline, right? So now you have made the title. Now you want an outline for the presentation. So then this is the prompt I am writing, right? So some of the things are common, right? You can see, initial points are common. So I am an endocrinologist again. You don't have to tell it every time. If you are using the same system, it will remember. But at the same time, this is just to tell you, give you an idea that, this is how to write a good prompt, okay? Then I said, I have to give a talk on the topic, unlocking the secrets of male sexual dysfunction and endocrinologist guide for primary care practitioners. So exactly the title I copied and said, I have to give the talk on this topic. My target audience are this, same thing again. Then be very specific that I have to give a talk for 20 minutes. So hence I'll require about 20 slides, okay? Generally, on an average, 1 minute per slide is generally what we generally have a count, right? So if you're going to talk on 20 minutes, I would say generally 15-20 slides are good, okay? Please give an outline for the presentation about 20 slides and make it interesting, okay? So always keep something like this, make it interesting, make it make it interactive, right? Whatever, so that it gives you some very nice content and not a dull content, okay? So here is the video, okay? So this is the prompt, right? So again, in chat GPT, you can see chat GPT window will look something like this, right? Here on the bottom, you can write a prompt and then, it will give the output, right? So here we wrote the prompt, I am an endocrinologist, the same thing, right? So whatever I said, I just copied it and pasted it, right? So again, it is doing the memory update. You can see here, right? It's again updating the memory, right? It is only remembering, reinforcing that this is the topic, right? Now it has started giving me the output, right? So here's the outline for the presentation. You can see it's writing slide number 1, slide number 2, slide number 3, 4, 5, 6, right? See, look at this. Okay. So it made the entire presentation. I'll show you the output, right? How does it look like? Okay, so this is the output, right? This is what the output would look like. So a complete file. So this is the outline. So title, right? Unlocking secrets of male sexual dysfunction. I'm sorry if you're not able to see all the entire thing, but just to give you kind of thing, right? So it gives a subtitle, endocrinologist guide, right? Presenter, Dr. Om J. Lakhani. So it also wrote my name also, right? Introduction, understanding male sexual dysfunction, physiology of male sexual dysfunction, endocrine causes, testosterone and sexual health, assessing male sexual dysfunction in primary care. Then it gives, says, why don't you put a case study, right? So case study, erectile dysfunction, treatment pathways for ED, psychological aspects of MSD, right? Case study to ejaculatory disorder, right? So patient with premature ejaculation, management of ejaculatory disorder, Peyronie's disease, endocrine evaluation, emerging therapies, patient communication strategies, interactive case discussion, summary, final question and answer, closing slide, right? So 20 slides it wrote, very nice. I think this is a very nice outline, right, for this entire thing. So I think it covers everything, right? It covers right from physiology to the, some cases also, and all the aspects of male sexual dysfunction. So it's a very nice output, right, which you get is a complete output, right, which you can get. Okay, so this is the output file. Entire output file was generated by ChatGPT. Okay, so मैंने कुछ नहीं किया है, directly ChatGPT generated the entire output. Okay, but again remember I wrote a very good prompt, so I got very good result, right? अच्छा prompt लिखोगे अच्छा result आएगा, right? Very very important. Okay, so now we have done the prompt part, or we have made the outline, right? So title we have made, outline we have made. Now we will get the content of the slide. So each slide will get the content, right? So for that we'll use the tool called Perplexity, right? So Perplexity, you can use ChatGPT also, but remember Perplexity, if you want to find something current, okay, always remember this. अगर तुम्हें कोई current चीज चाहिए, you want something, find something which is current, which is new, then you have to use a tool which is which can search, right? Because all these trained models like your ChatGPT and Claude Sonnet, they are trained up till a particular time, right? So for example, ChatGPT 4o is trained up till April 2024, right? So it is trained up to that point, and after that it doesn't have much of data, right? So if you want more current, then it is always better to use Perplexity, because Perplexity searches the internet, finds the relevant data, then uses the AI model to get the final output, right? So that's why it's always better if you want to do any research, it is always better to use Perplexity. Okay, so we are going to use Perplexity tool, right? Now two things here we'll do right now, right? One is we'll conduct the research. Secondly, we'll use a simple text editor just to, so that on one page we'll just collect all the slides which are going to get, right? So all the slides we'll put in one simple text editor, right? You'll understand the importance of this in a later, when we start making the presentation. So just collect, so you can use any simple text editor, right? Maybe, if you are using MacBook, there is something called text edit. Again, similar, you have text editor available in Windows also. So any text editor, just keep entering the, whatever the content output you are getting, start putting it in the slide, okay, in the simple editor, right? So right now we are just going to make one document, right? So with, simple word editor, right? Nothing fancy. Okay, now we'll use some markdown elements. Okay, this is very important. Okay, so markdown is like HTML. Like some of you would have understanding. When you have a website, you have something called HTML, right? Similarly, the new way of making documents, which is now common for any kind of tool you're using, is called markdown. Okay, so you have to add certain markdown elements, right? Now there is a standard syntax for markdown. You don't have to understand the entire syntax. If you're interested in something, markdown is something you can learn, right? We can have probably a separate session on markdown itself, but we are not going to discuss markdown today. All I'm going to tell you is basically, we are going to use two markdown elements for our presentation. One is we'll use a hashtag for title, right? Why this is important? Because AI tools understand markdown, right? So when you want to communicate in the language of AI, you have to communicate in a specific way, okay? Second, we'll use 3 between each slides. So how does the AI know that यहाँ पे slide, slide 1 finishes and here the next slide starts? By putting dashes, right? So here you can see on the left side, I have given an example, title slide, this is the title, subtitle, presenter, and then there are 3 dashes after that. So it gives the indication to the AI that this is where the slide begins, this is where the slide ends. So slide begins with a hashtag for the title and ends with a 3 point, right? So this is how you give a proper syntax, and if you give a proper syntax, your work later on becomes much easy, right? As you'll realize, we'll see. Now we'll use Perplexity for doing the research, right? So this is the prompt I've written. Again, I am an endocrinologist. Now remember, I'm using another tool, right? So whatever I said, the earlier thing, ChatGPT remembered that I'm an endocrinologist, but Perplexity is a different tool, right? So it doesn't know that, right? So again, we are writing the same thing again. I am endocrinologist. I am giving a talk on this. My target audience are family physician. I'll give a brief outline for each slide. Okay, so this is now the important. I will give a brief outline. So we already have the outline, right? So I'll give a brief outline for each slide. You need to give me the content for the slide in plain text. I just want content in plain text. Remember, the content for the slide should be brief and in bullet points. We just want short content and in bullet points. let us start with the first slide. So this is the first slide, understanding male sexual dysfunction, definition and prevalence, right? So this we directly copied from the outline, right? So the first outline for the first slide was this, understanding male sexual dysfunction, definition, prevalence, right? So we directly copied from the the output which was there given by the outline which was given by ChatGPT. Okay, so you just copied this and you will see how we'll run the video, right? So this is how it goes. Okay, so this I just pasted this. Now you can see how Perplexity works. Okay, yeah, so Perplexity works here like this, right? So it is now finding the answer, right? Now here it says, right, certainly I'll provide the brief bullet points for this, right? So here it's giving the output. Okay, so this is just the first slide. Okay, then we'll make more slides, but this is the first slide. So here it gives me the content for this, right? Understanding male sexual dysfunction, definition, persistent difficulty in achieving or maintaining erection, ejaculation, orgasm, includes erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, low libido, impacts sexual function, quality of life. Then it gives the prevalence up to 52% in this, erectile dysfunction, this is this, right, and so on, right? So it gives all the content, right? You can in fact verify this content also by searching, right? So you can in fact individually search and say that, tell me the reference for this, tell me the reference for this. It'll give you references also. References also it can rewrite in a specific format that you want. Okay, so this is the outline for the first slide, right? So with this we made the first slide, right from there, right? Now we will make, so now we understood that ChatGPT is working properly, Perplexity is working properly. Now we will use the prompt for rest of the slide. Now here we'll use the free form, right? So you can, if you have logged on to this, you can check this out, right? Okay. Right. So let me go here, right? So this is the prompt for the entire presentation. Okay. Okay, so here is the prompt, right? So again, this is the prompt, right? So for the entire presentation, again, same thing, initial top things remain the same, right? So let me make this a little larger. So this, I think this should be better visible, right? So I am an endocrinologist, right? I have to give a talk on male sexual dysfunction. My, again, primary care physicians are my target, right? Same thing, right? I want to give okay, so, right? So this is the entire, sorry, just give me 1 second. So this is what it looked like, right? So, we already had the first slide, right? Then these are the other slides. So we'll just add this other slide. Yeah, there you go. So this is the prompt for the entire presentation. Now here, I want to show you some interesting aspects. Okay, so here I said do the same for the entire slide. Okay, let me just copy this. Okay, here. So do the same for rest of the slides. Okay, so one slide already we had, right? Now here you can see I have done something very interesting here, right? So here I am giving this output instruction, specific type of instructions that I want. Okay, so I want this type of instructions. So output should be in plain text. The slide should be starting with a hashtag, right? Title should be hashtag. The content should be between plain text with bullet points, and between two slides include these 3 dots, right? So this is what we had said. Right, this is end of output. Then I give an example, right? So there was already first slide which you had made, right? So this is the example, right? So if you give an example, sometimes it understands better. Okay, so this is the thing, and then we give the slide outline, right? So all the slides I just put this in the outline, right, and just send it to Perplexity. So you can see with just one prompt, now you can see the entire thing it is making, right? So here you can see I am showing the video, right? So the entire prompt I just copied, right, and pasted, and now you can see it is doing the entire research, okay? Yeah, so here it is doing the search, and slide by slide, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so slide by slide it is giving the entire output, right? Okay. So emerging therapies, all the other points that we put, right, is giving the output, right? Now we copied the entire output, right, and we can put it in the the text file, right? So I'll show you the entire output, how it generated, okay? Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so this is the entire output you can see here, right? So you have title and presenter, right? This is the first slide, understanding male sexual dysfunction, prevalence, then physiology, key concepts, hormonal components, testosterone, estradiol, prolactin, neurological components, vascular components, endocrine causes, right? Testosterone and sexual health, assessing male sexual dysfunction in primary care, treatment pathways, psychological aspects, everything. Okay, so all the things that we said, it got included. Okay, so this is how we made the entire, right? So what we did, sorry. Right. So what we did was we started with the title, then we made the outline, then we made the content, right? So for the content that we used the perplexity for getting the entire content. Okay. So again, you can copy these prompts also. They are I have put some prompts in the freeform board also, and you can make a similar prompt yourself, right? So you can try a few prompts and see what works for you, right? And once you get a good prompt, always save it, right? So save it, and so that next time you want to make a presentation, you can use a similar prompt. Okay. Right. Now, then I said that last I want take home messages also. So I want some take home message. So I want, some 3 or 4 slides where I want to, the user to have the final 3 or 4 take home messages. So again, for this, I made a specific prompt. Okay. So just give me 1 second. I'll show you. Right. So in the free form, you can see we had. Yeah. So, okay. So again, for making the take home message, you can use ChatGPT, or you can use Perplexity also. So again, I said the same thing. You can see the prompt here. I am a endocrinologist, so on and so forth. Then here, I said this is important. Okay, so this is important. Just give me 3 take home messages, not the entire presentation. I just want the 3 take home message, right? Then output instruction. The output should be, we already said, similar to, and then we gave output example, and then we gave the entire presentation to the ChatGPT, and then asked it to give 3 take home messages, right? So you can see here how it goes. Okay, so we copied this entire prompt, put it in ChatGPT, and then you can see here it is giving me 3 take home message, right? So hormone evaluation is crucial, lifestyle changes matter, and treatment should be individualized, right? So that is the 3 take home message it gets from the entire presentation. This I can add to the presentations that I have, right? So then we have the entire output, right? So the entire output I'll show you how it looks like, right? Including the take home message also, right? So this is the entire output again, right? I already showed you once. So all the take home message also we included. So this is the entire now document is ready. Okay. So within a few minutes, right in front of you, we actually made the entire document. Okay. So and yeah, here 3 take home message also we have added, right? Hormonal evaluation is crucial, lifestyle changes matter, treatment should be individualized, and thank you, right? So this is the entire document has the entire presentation, right? So I will share this document with you on the freeform app, right? So again, if you are accessing this right now, you will be able to get the document. Okay. So again, if you are using Apple, right, this is a very useful tool called freeform. You can see the entire Word document. So you can just click on this, and you will be able to see the Word document completely, right? So yeah, so this is the whole idea. Okay. So we made the entire output. Now you will say the main part. Okay. So अब you will say कि अच्छा तुमने सब बना तो दिया, right? Output तो बना दिया. अब इसका slide कौन बनाएगा? Slide banana is now the simplest thing, right? You have done the hard work. Now everything else is now very simple from now on, right? So the tool we'll be using is again GPT-4o. Now here you have to write a very specific type of prompt, right? I'm going to show you this prompt, and just if if you are not using freeform, you can copy this prompt and you can or you can screenshot this prompt, right? This is a very important prompt. If you write this prompt correctly, right, your problem is solved, right? You don't have to worry about it, right? Again, we'll be using Chat GPT-4. So this is the prompt. Given below is my entire PowerPoint presentation. I want you to convert the same to a PPTX file. Okay, so the form of PowerPoint, the type of file is PPTX, right? So I want to convert this to a PPTX file. Each slide has a header and some content, right? The slide header is identified by this symbol, hashtag. So अब तुम्हें समझ में आया why this hashtag symbol was important. Okay, the content of the slides are in bullet points, which starts with this. Some slides may just have a header and no content, and the divisions between the slide are identified by 3 dashes. And I want the output as a PPTX file. Directly मुझे file बना के दो. Directly make me the file. Right now you will be surprised कि अच्छा how can ChatGPT make a file? It will make a file. I'll show you how it does. Right. So this is the entire prompt. I put the entire prompt. Right. And I put my entire presentation. Right. So this is the prompt which I wrote. Right. And then put the entire presentation. Right. To it. And now you can see it is doing analysis. Right. So it is now this may not be available to you for free ChatGPT users. So if you are using a ChatGPT Plus, this will do it automatically. Otherwise, you will have to do step by step, right? So this is where ChatGPT Plus. I'll show you other ways of doing it, right? But if you are using ChatGPT, this is within ChatGPT itself you'll do. So it is doing some seconds to make the analysis, right? So you can say analyze. Oh, sorry. Right. So you go, right? It's doing the analysis, right? And let's skip to the part where it makes the presentation ready. The PowerPoint presentation you have created successfully, you can download it with the link. Directly link se hi you can get the PowerPoint. Okay, so you want to now, you are excited to know how the PowerPoint looks like. I'll show it to you, right, on the freeform app. Okay. Right, so we have given it here, right? This is the raw slide. Okay, so this is the entire presentation which is made by ChatGPT. So everything it has now put, right? So तुम्हें कुछ नहीं करना पड़ा. It understood that कहाँ से, where does the next slide, where does one slide end and where does the next slide begin, right? So here you have the title and presentation, understanding male sexual dysfunction. Now see, there will be some mistakes. For example, here it is not understood the dash over here, right? So 40 to 70 it is. So some little bit of editing you will have to do. Okay, then we'll do that, right? You'll see how it goes, right? So here, and then it gives you the take home message and everything. Okay, right? So all the slides it has put into the presentation, right? Okay, so this is the raw presentation, right? Now we'll be doing more. So this outline and entire presentation is ready. Now we'll be sprucing up the presentation. So we'll add some color and scheme animations. We'll add some fun images, we'll add some scientific medical images, we'll add some flowcharts, infographics, everything we'll be doing. Everything we'll be doing using AI only. Okay, so this is the, this is what it looks like. Now, if you're using the latest version of PowerPoint, in fact, it's very easy, right? The color and everything can be done right from the PowerPoint. So you have on the right side, you have this option called designer, you can see, right? Just click on the designer, it will generate some ideas. Okay, so it will now make this entire thing, right? It's very easy to do. Right, so you don't have to do anything major. So let's select one idea, right? Okay, so here it is, right? So it is generating ideas for the look, and then let's select this look, right? Look. So we selected this, so it made the thing, and you can then do a little bit of sizing of the text and all that. Right? So it make this a little bigger font size, okay, so on, right? So this looks pretty decent, okay. So this is how you can do it. Again, all these things you can do. There are third-party apps which can do all this in single go, but this is just to give you an example how you can again do the human in the loop kind of thing, right? So this is one. Now let's add some images to it, right? Let's make it more interesting. So the tool again we'll be using is ChatGPT 4o, right? So we'll be writing. So ChatGPT can make images also. So ChatGPT uses a tool at the backend from OpenAI called DALL-E to generate images. Okay, so we'll see how to. So let's write the prompt for making an image. So I'm saying I am having a talk again, says earlier things are signed. Add an image for the title based on the theme, make it look like a cartoon, make it lively and attracts. You can see what kind of prompt I'm writing. Very importantly, a lot of the times what it does is it tries to add some text, right? So when it adds text, it sometimes doesn't understand text very well, right? So sometimes you get some garbled text, right? Garbage text. So very important message, don't add any text to the image, okay? So this is one important message I'm giving. I don't want any text I'll add on my own, I just want the image, okay? So let's see what image it generates, okay? So this is the prompt that I put, right? And now we are waiting for it to generate the image. So you can see creating image. Okay, so here it made an image, right? Now this is pretty good. So you have a female doctor talking to a male patient, right? So this is what it looks like. So let's put this into so this is what the image looks like. They're pretty good, right? So nice image, attractive, colorful. So we'll add this image to our presentation. Okay, so you'll see, I'll show you the final presentation, right? So we just added this image in the first slide, right? Now let's make an infographic, right? So one of the slides you can see, right? There was a slide which was basically talking about the data. So affects about 52% men between age of 40 to 70. So this is right. So I want to make this like an infographic, right? So for making an infographic, you can of course use ChatGPT also, but one tool I'll suggest, try this out. This is called Claude Sonnet 3.5. Again, Claude you can use free of cost. You can just search for Claude. It's a freemium model, so you can use the best model 3.5 free of charge up to some limit, but the current task can be done free of charge with Claude Sonnet, right? So you can search for Claude Sonnet on Google and it will open up, right? And I'll show you how it looks like, right? So this is what Claude Sonnet would look like. So here we put this prompt, right? So you can see the prompt. Okay, I'm showing you the prompt. Again, earlier part is same. I am I'm having a talk on this. Given below is the content of, I want to make an infographic using the information in the slide using SVG. Okay, so this is important. Again, if you want, you can copy this image, right? Or copy this prompt, right? I want the infographic in SVG. SVG is a kind of programming language for making images. Okay, so if you just write it, otherwise it will maybe do some things right and something wrong. But if I said I want to specifically make using SVG, it is intended for primary care physician, make it attractive and bold. This should be the content of the slide, right? 52% male, this and that, right? So let's see what Claude does. So this is the prompt. Again, I copied and pasted the prompt. Okay, this is the prompt I put. Now it is doing. Now Anthropic Claude has something on the right side. It will open up and it will show you the display the entire thing for you, right? So this is called they call it artifact, right? So here is the content. So actually initially forgot to add the content, right? So here I added the content. Okay, so I added the content and now you can see it will open an artifact window and it will make the suitable image, right? Okay, here you go. So it is doing some sort of coding at the back end, right? So why I said SVG? Because SVG is something where the text will work very well, right? So this is again a very important trick I learned the hard way, right? So if you want some sort of image with text, then you should ask for output in SVG format. Here it made the very nice infographic, right? So 52% of men between age 40 to 70 are affected. 1 in 5 men over 20 have erectile dysfunction. 20 to 30% of adult men experience premature ejaculation, right? So it makes this entire very nice infographic, and you can just take this infographic and add it to the presentation. Okay, so Isico Hub, you can put it in your presentation. Okay, so this is the output file, right? And this is what it looks like, and then we'll add this directly into the presentation. So this is second. Then you want to add a flow chart, for example, right? So for adding, again, all these things you can do in different ways. You can try your own creativity, but if you want to make a very nice flow chart, a very good way of doing is a ChatGPT has certain option called custom GPT, right? So custom GPT are some creative people who have made their own GPT versions. This is available for paid version. Now I am told that it is available in free version also, so you can try this out. The tool which you can use is called Whimsical Diagram, right? This is the name of the tool. I'll show you how to search for a custom GPT and how to make this, right? So when you go to ChatGPT, on the top you will see ChatGPT 4.0. Here you have to look for some explore custom GPT, right? So here you can search for it. Now here you want to search for Whimsical Diagram. This is the one, right? This is the diagram thing you have to write. It's already there, Whimsical Diagram. So you search for that, and whatever we write the prompt here and we add it, right? So here I'm writing the prompt, right? Convert the following into a mind map. Let's see. So we actually let me show you the prompt. Okay, so this we want this slide which we made, right? Hormonal components, physiology of male sexual dysfunction. This slide I want to convert into a mind map or into a flow chart. Okay, so physiology of male sexual dysfunction. This entire thing I just copied and pasted, right? Okay, so this entire thing I copied, right? And I said convert the following into a mind map, right? So I copied and pasted, right? Now it does the needful, right? So it makes a mind map. So you can see how it is starting action, right? And here you can make the diagram, so you can check it out. Okay, so this is what the diagram it looks like. Okay, I'll show you the final output file. Right, so this is the entire thing. You can do the editing also here, right? So sexual function, I'll show you the output file, right? So sexual function components, hormonal components, neurological components, vascular components, hormonal, testosterone, estradiol, prolactin, neurological components, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, neurotransmitters, vascular components, penile arteries, corpora cavernosa, venous system, and all that, right? So entire thing it gives us a very nice little output, and this you can add to the slide. Okay, so this we add to the slide. Now you want a more traditional sort of a flow chart. So you want a more traditional flow chart, you can, there is something called, this is one doctor once asked me how to make a flow chart. So this is, I'll show you how to do it, right? So there is again, just like we saw that, for making an image, there is something called SVG. For making a flow chart, there is a tool which is called mermaid diagrams or mermaid, right? So again, you don't have to understand how it works. Basically, all you can do is, I'll show you how to do it, okay? So I want to convert the following into a mermaid diagram. This is the prompt you put. This is the title, right? Then you have testosterone deficiency, low libido, erectile dysfunction, reduced muscle mass, thyroid disorders, decreased libido, ED, hyperthyroidism, right? Diabetes, this, right? So these are the endocrine causes of male sexual dysfunction. So let's make this into a a mermaid. So here, just copied this prompt and put it, right? So now it makes some sort of text, this kind of code, okay? So what you have to do is, you have to take this code, right? Go to the website called mermaid.live, okay, and just paste this code, right? Just paste this code, it will make the entire thing, right? You can see very beautifully it has made, right? I'll show you the output. Okay, so this is what it will look like, right? So, sorry, the image is not, quality is not good. Endocrine causes of male sexual dysfunction, testosterone, thyroid disorders, diabetes, testosterone, low libido, erectile dysfunction, reduced muscle mass, hypothyroidism, then so on, right? And diabetes, something like that. So it is then making the entire flow chart, right? So this type of flow chart you can also make using mermaid, right? You can do the same thing with whimsical diagram also, right? So you can do this with whimsical diagram also, but you can, this is another way, this is a more traditional way of doing it. Okay, now let's start. So this is the thing. Now let's make changes to the other slides also. So let's start, so we already made couple of slides. So this was the first slide, right, where we added the image, right? Then the next slide, we added this, the flow chart which we made, right? Okay, right? Then, so on. So let's start designing the other slides, right? Again, using designer. Okay, so very simple to do. Just take a few seconds, slide by slide you go and start making the designs. Okay, so just start changing the designs everywhere, right? Again, designer. You can keep adding, more flow charts and images and everything that you want. Otherwise, you can just directly start, doing this. Okay, there will be again lot of certain spelling mistakes also. So sometimes, like this, you can see on demand and all this you can edit it. Okay, so do this here, right? Emerging therapies, take home messages, right? Okay, so all this design we make quickly, right? You can, within few minutes, you can do all this designing. Okay, and there you go, right? Thank you, slide. Okay, so you can see now the final presentation. I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, right. So this is the first slide. As you can see, the first slide where we added the image, right, unlocking the male sexual dysfunction, so on, right. Then this is the infographic that we added. Okay, this is the flow chart, whimsical diagram. This is the flow chart, right. Then this is the testosterone symptoms, assessing, treatment pathways, psychological aspects, management, endocrine evaluation, emerging therapies, take home message, right? So there you go. Entire 18 slide presentation is ready. Okay. Okay, great. Now, let me say that, if you have more money, well, you can skip a lot of these steps and do it directly, right? So there are two apps, both are paid apps, right? There are free, again, freemium. So there are certain things you can do free, but there are certain things you have to pay. So I'm using the free version to basically, I'm not paid for this, either of these apps. So there are two apps which I would recommend that if you want to use. One is called Gamma, another is called presentations.ai. Now Gamma I have used earlier, I have shown it to a lot of doctors also. Presentations AI I have not used earlier, so I used it for the first time for this presentation, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. It is very good. Right? In fact, Presentations AI claims that they are the best presentation software currently, right? So you can try it out. Both are paid apps, so again it will allow maybe one or two presentations for free, but then you'll have to, and especially if you want to export the output, it will ask for money, right? So again, again it's not very expensive, again cost 1000, 2000. So if you are somebody who makes a lot of presentations, it's worth the money. Otherwise you can use the entire system which I told you, and it doesn't take much. It will take about half an hour, 1 hour to make you the entire presentation, very nice presentation using the system which I showed you. Okay, so I'll show you the Gamma app, right? So Gamma app looks like this, right? So here basically what you have to do is the entire step-by-step process that we did. Instead of that, in Gamma you can directly copy and paste it, and it will make all the slides for you along with the images also, right? So here is what you do, right? So you go to Gamma app, okay, and there is an option. Okay, so let's go here, right? So here you have an option of generate with AI, okay, create new with AI. Here it says paste in text, okay, so we paste in text. So we take the entire text and paste it, right? All the entire outline that we have made, we paste it, right? Now what is interesting is that in fact here you can then say card by card, right? So in card by card, it will just have to mark that at what point the slide changes, right? Now what happened was, interestingly, actually the marker which it uses is actually dash 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 only, but because I had copied it in some other document, the dash 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 actually had gone away, so you could not recognize it, but otherwise you can do this. Now the problem is when I'm using this free version, it says that it is limited to 10 cards only, right? So only 10 cards will be generated, right? So if you want to upgrade to 30 cards, then you have to pay for it. That is the problem, but otherwise it's okay, right? So we just showed you, and now then you go and then you choose a theme, okay? So pick a theme, right? So let's pick any theme and color, right? Okay, let's pick this one, okay? Yeah. So you just go ahead and ask it to run, okay? Now you can see, fut, it is making the entire presentation, you can see. So beautiful, right? So all you did was made the outline and everything, copied and pasted it, and now it's making the entire slides. It also adds the images also, everything, okay? Wherever it wants to add graphic or anything, it will do that, right? Now I'll show you how the presentation of the Gamma app looks like. Okay, I'll just show you. Here you go, right? So this is what it looks like, right? This is the first slide, okay? Then understanding male sexual dysfunction, persistent difficulty, multiple forms, right? Okay, this made it, we had made a very nice infographic, but here it made, this type of thing, right? Hormonal, neurological, vascular components, endocrine causes, put an image of endocrine system, right? Testosterone and sexual health, it added some image, assessing male sexual dysfunction in primary care, treatment pathways, right? Psychological aspects, management of ejaculatory disorder, right? Added some image of a couple, right? So on. Remember, it only made 10 slides because of obvious reasons, right? But this is very good. You can check this out, okay? So this is using Gamma, right? And this is the output file which I showed you. And then another tool which I use is called presentations. I don't have the video of how I made the presentation the same way like you use in Gamma, but what I'm going to show is I'm going to show you how the output looks like. Right. So again, I am pleasantly surprised by how good the output is. So again, the problem is that it's a little slow, right? But the animations and everything, it's very fast. And again, if you want to export this, you'll have to pay for it, right? So that's another problem, right? So you might have to pay for it if you want to export the entire presentation, right? So again, it says presentations.ai. Okay, so here you go. Unlocking the secrets of male sexual dysfunction. First slide. Second slide is the agenda, right? Third slide, right? Okay, the things, right? The definitions and everything. Then here it shows these, right? So affects up to 50% of men. I'm sure you'll agree that this is very nice, right? Very nice, 1 in 5 male have it, 20 to 30% of adult men have it, right? Increases with age and comorbidities, often underreported in primary care settings, right? Physiology, right? Hormonal components, neurological components, vascular components, right? Nice slide. Okay, endocrine causes. You can see the animations also, right? Very nice animations, right? Okay, testosterone and male sexual health. This is that slide. This is a slide on assessing sexual dysfunction in primary care. Okay, then it has treatment pathways, right? Nice. Psychological aspects, right? All this, in fact, you don't have to do much. You have to just copy and paste all the. So I told you what you need to do is design. Don't worry about design. First, make very good outline, right? So once you are, this, because we made a very good outline, all these tools can now make very good design, right? Design banana itna difficult nahi hai, right? So you can ask your assistant also to make it. It's very simple, but the content should be very good, right? So once you made a good content, you can see the entire rest of the thing is very, very easy. Okay, so there you go. Right, so I put this link in the free form also. You can check this out, right? So there you go, friends. Thank you for this, and we made the entire presentation for you, right? And using about hour and maybe just about an hour. Yeah, in hour made the entire presentation. In fact, it will take you less time because I had to teach you how to do it, right? Remember, we have this Technochronology YouTube channel, so we don't have much videos right now, but you should subscribe to this channel. We keep adding more content. If possible, we can add this presentation also, but we'll see. And you can follow me on Twitter. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Right, these are all on the freeform apps also. So again, you can search for me on Twitter and connect. And I thank you for a patient listening. I'll be happy to take questions if there are any. Sure.